Hey everybody, this is Pastor Jamie from In the Light here with Judge Nelson Diaz, and we're just going to take a moment to get to know him. He stopped by, and we thought as he's running for mayor that, let's get to know the candidate, let's get to know him, and that way that when you get out there to vote, that you'll be informed about who he is, get to know him, and yeah, you can hear that. So we're welcome to anybody stopping by, and if they want to just have a conversation, we'd love to have a conversation for you to get to know him, so you can be an informed voter and really get behind that person that you're voting for. And so, Judge, we just want to kind of get to know you and start off with just, tell us a little bit about yourself and in your journey that got you to this point that people might be able to relate to.
I grew up in Harlem, and I grew up pretty poor. We lived in a tenement, and then I was sick because of the tenement. I had asthma, pneumonia, allergies. And so I was very sick until I was 10 years old, until I was able then to get into public housing. Because of my illness, I qualified for public housing. We moved into Black Harlem, and I thought I was middle class when I had a room by myself, and the first time I slept in a bed. My body then developed because then I had an ability to nurture myself, to get healthier, and didn't have all of those illnesses. And my asthma was reduced to a great extent. As I got better, got involved in some troublemaking activities in Harlem. In fact, I was part of the gangs of Harlem. And through the Teen Challenge Ministry, through that ministry, a lot of us really got out of the streets. And I made a real turnabout from a very poor student, a D student, to an A student in 1 year. And then my focus was on trying to get a job. And so I took vocational courses, I took typing and bookkeeping and things that I could do. So since the age of 10, I basically supplied support to my parents because my parents probably never made more than $50 a week. One of them was a doorman, my mother was a seamstress, and so I contributed to that, and I'm still contributing after all of these years. Now they live with me, 89 and 94. I got into college somehow, community college, and from community college I went on to finish a 4-year college. I decided to accept some offers, and this guy here in Philadelphia, Peter Lee Corr, said, wouldn't you like to go to law school? So I came to Philadelphia, and as I came here, I realized that Philadelphia was more discriminatory than New York City. New York City had pretty much people from all over the world. And here it was people of living in different neighborhoods and people who just didn't get along. And then I continued to stay here in Philadelphia, involved in ministry, worked in North Philadelphia, worked with kids who had drugs and alcohol problems, became a judge somehow, and I used the court system to bring back resources to our community. I was on the William Penn Foundation and brought plenty of money. I was heavily involved in the issue of AIDS and HIV, where I got heavily criticized, and the issue there, I was heavily involved with the Pew Foundation, and I was involved in doing economic development. I founded ASE, Hispanic Association of Contract Enterprises, which has done housing and economic development. I did Spanish Merchants, where I revitalized at Bloque de Oro on 2900 block of North 5th Street. I've been involved pretty much in Temple University, the hospital services to our community, and the university as a board of trustees with regard to education. I started an organization called Project Ayuda, which is a project to help the elderly get jobs. And since 1980, we've had 140 new people every year, 55 years and above, get hired. The important thing is that by working there, they get the 4 semesters that are required to be qualified for Social Security. And so they can be off of the rolls of the welfare system, and they're on their own with regard to Social Security. My whole life has been dedicated because of the opportunities that I've had to civil rights, human rights. So it's an opportunity that I think God gave me to open doors for other people so that other people can have the opportunities that I had.
That's wonderful. So it seems like your journey has really gone from the gutter to a place where now you're contributing to society, and you're really encouraged by the other places that are bringing that hope. And you have been really instrumental. It seems like even in your track record, it shows that you are about community, about kind of rebuilding those infrastructures for those people who are marginalized and the least likely, and all across the board. So a lot of people can probably identify with your urban journey and really can be inspired that they can get to the same place. Now, with all that, you became a judge and you're doing all these great things. So, what makes it that you're a place where now you're a judge and now you're looking to run for mayor? Why that?
As I was sitting watching a football game, I felt a big conviction. And I don't know if you've ever had that kind
Oh, yeah.
of experience. Big conviction that, Nelson, you're doing okay. Things are well, but your community is in dire need of opportunity, of an education, of a process of getting them into a working, because work provides dignity. Then with my faith, I truly believe that it'll be an opportunity to bring conviction to this city for them to realize that we've abandoned a large portion of the population. 28% of the city's in poverty. 40% of the Latino community is under the poverty level. That's a large community that is really struggling. I've gone to food kitchens and served on food kitchens. You see a lot of Latino families just
Right.
coming through the food kitchens. And many of them saying, can I get a job? Well, unless you train them, you have to have some literacy to be able to get into job opportunities. And there is absolutely no workforce program training people to get into that kind of job that doesn't require an education. If I am elected mayor, I can really confront the system and bring truth to power, which is, hey, all you do is talk about it, vote about it, and here I am, a citizen without any elected office, and I've been able to bring resources to our community.
Yeah, so as a judge, there's some things you can do, but as a mayor, the way that you can bring education reform will be that much more substantial. You can really keep that on the table, and you understand the journeys of many people and how to bring up the educational system and bring the resources in really strong. Is there anything else in your running that you're really feeling strong and passionate about? Education is probably number one priority that you'll really emphasize and push. Is there anything else that people might want to know?
Is to bring our community into the community college and train them for a work opportunity. So we would say, hey, there are 30 jobs open at Comcast for people who can do input into the internet. I mean, all we have to do is teach computer literacy.
Yeah.
We'll do computer literacy, we'll move them into that opportunity. We got to get that 28% out, and we got to be able to train them. And you can be helpful in training. Yeah, you got to get up on time, you got to be responsible, and so forth.
Right.
The other thing is that I'd like to increase the minimum wage. The minimum wage to $15, since it's really been at $7 dollars, and the city has raised it a little, but it's not $15 an hour. And if we take what I used to make, $1.25 an hour when I was a kid, that would be about $22 today in terms of minimum wage. So I was making more as a kid than my parents were.
Wow.
In terms of the minimum wage. I'd like to see community policing. I'd like to see the police be a part of your congregation, be a part of the community, know the people, be involved with the community, so that when there are issues, you know who to call, you know the relationship. The economy's going to come back, and if I change the tax structure, which is stop taxing everybody that 4% wage tax. If we can eliminate that wage tax and make it a progressive tax like we have in most cities, where you pay based on whether or not you can afford it, and you put the onerous on the real estate tax, particularly the commercial real estate tax, then we're able to carry the city a lot easier and pace. As you know, most of the money that goes to the school system comes from the real estate tax. So instead of 16%, we'll go up to 34%, but you don't tax me the same way you tax the commercial taxes. And so we have to change that issue of you and I paying the same real estate tax, that Comcast pays.
Right.
We got to pay proportionally based upon commercial and residential, and we have to change those taxes on the top. So those are the kinds of opportunities I think we have to make this city a very, very great city of opportunities for all people.
Yeah, it gives us an idea that you understand different dynamics on the business, on the religious side, on the socioeconomic positions of people, and we find Judge Nelson is just a great relational guy. He's a man of the community. He's a man who understands the people and the needs out there in a variety of different sectors. So we really appreciate that, and just kind of hearing your heart and your journey. The last thing I guess I'll ask is, how can we, as clergy and as people in churches, how can we be praying for you? What would you like with that?
One thing is, everybody pray for me, just for my safety, and that we essentially get this message across so that everybody can understand it. That's really important, because we have absolutely no hidden agendas. We're doing it because it's important for our community, the first thing. The second thing is, they should understand that May 19th is the day that is the primary.
May 19th.
So they say, well, I'm powerless, I can't do anything. Well, there are a lot of things you can do. You can call your neighbors, you can call your pastor, you can call all of the friends and family members and say, did you come out to vote? If you didn't come out to vote, please come out to vote, because we have to send this message. Now, yes, I would love for them to vote for me, but if you can't vote for me, at least come out to vote, because it's important. The mayor has more of an impact on you than the president does, because he's in Washington and it's national issues.
Right.
Here he has more of an impact. He has an impact on your housing, on your highways, on your roads, on your potholes, on your garbage.
Wow.
He has all of that impact. And if you want to be able to zone a property or get into a location, he has impact upon that in terms of what you do in the city. So it's a great opportunity for us. I believe we can win, but I believe we can only win if the Latino community shows up.
And a lot of them don't realize the power that they have in their vote, and just needing to be present at those things makes people aware that there's power in unity, there's power in their voice, and kind of their vote counts.
That's right.
And so I guess we could be praying for you in wisdom and how to navigate these waters.
That's right.
Your family, like you said, safety during the season, and just the encouragement you need to know that you're standing for things and you're representing things that might not always be recognized right away.
I believe that if our community raises its brow up, that they will transform the city.
Well, there you have it. I think that was well said. I think you got to hear raw, candid, and genuine sentiments from Judge Nelson Diaz as he's going for mayor. And hopefully, based on the things that you heard here, it will help you be well informed when you go out there and vote. Thank you so much for who you are and what you're doing.
Thank you for what you do. I mean, I'm looking forward to spending a lot of time here. So thank you. And, they always say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, this one tried to, but it came right back. So thank you so much. Appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully this helps. God bless you guys.